Hi everyone, welcome in. Please let us know what school you're representing and where you're from in the chat as we get everybody in here. Thanks so much. Welcome everyone. I see some familiar names in the attendees from my region, so thanks for making me look good. Please let us know where you're coming in from. Awesome. I see Tacoma, Sunnyside, Olympic College, Seattle Public Schools. We've got a wide range. Thank you so much for coming out, everyone. Okay, we're gonna give it another minute or so to let more people come in. We got a ton of people registered, thankfully, but we're not even half there yet. So we'll see how many more might trickle in and then we'll get started. Thank you for your patience. So I do see it looks like somebody has their hand up. I don't know if there's already a question, but if you can please type that in the Q&A box, somebody will get to that and help you. Okay, awesome. Lovely to see everybody here. We'll go ahead and get started. So thanks for joining us for our first kickoff of their College Bound webinar series. We're very excited about this. This has been something that's been in the making for a while based on your feedback. For our first webinar, I'll be co-presenting with Melissa. I'm the College Bound Regional Officer for Southeast and South Central Washington, and I am based out of Yakima. So I will let Melissa say hey.
Hi all, thanks for coming this afternoon. It's good to see everybody. My name is Melissa Kaiulani Pico, and I'm the College Bound Regional Officer for good old King County.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. So for some housekeeping, we have a few things that we want to go over. This session is being recorded, and we will also email all participants or those who have pre-registered a link to the recording. You'll also receive a copy of the slide deck, just in case we might go too fast for you to take notes. Don't worry, you'll have a copy of it later. That way you can refer to things. Please feel free to use the Q&A feature during the presentation to ask any questions. We'll have people standing by to answer them. And then we'll also have some time for questions at the very end. And please keep yourself on mute if possible. We are so excited to say that we actually have clock hours available for this training. A credit form is going to be sent to all attendees after the webinar. Please fill it out and keep it for your records, but please be aware that some of you might need to recertify with OSPI. And all of that information will be sent out along with the slide deck. And another thing we're very excited about is In order to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend the training, we also hope that you will lend us a little bit more grace and also participate in our post-webinar series. This series is a new undertaking for us, and we really want to hear from you about what was useful, what was missing, and how we can improve. So to thank you for taking 5 minutes out of your day, we have 10 virtual gift cards of $10 for you to use at any retailer that you want. While filling out the survey, it is going to ask for your email so that you can be notified, but please rest assured that the College Bound Regional Officer team, and including the presenters, we will never see your responses tied to a specific individual. Our program managers are going to give us a summary of all of the feedback. So we hope that that knowledge lets you be as open and honest as possible, because we want to do our very best to improve. That way, we're giving you the information that you want. So please let us know your feedback. And with that, I will pass it over to Melissa. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Amber. Welcome everybody today. So we are really going to get into the heart and soul of College Bound today. And College Bound has a lot to it. So we're really going to focus on the foundation aspects. And then you'll see at the end again, and like Amber mentioned, we have 2 other webinars in this series as well that's going to go a deep dive into some more details of the program, as well as how to implement the program with your students. So this one, we're really touching on those foundational things, including some changes. So we'll talk about the basics. We'll talk about how students actually get the funding and what that looks like. We'll talk about some of the College Bound portal information, as well as some super fun FERPA information. We always love FERPA, right? And then we'll end it off by providing you all with some resources that you can utilize when you're talking about College Bound with your students. Perfect. So let's talk about the basics here. Really, the intent of College Bound is it's a commitment from the state, an early commitment in middle school, to say we want to help cover the unmet need so that students can go to college. And so it's really about bringing that together to help students that feel like it's not possible financially for them to go to college, to help them realize they can go to college. And so when we kind of talk about who that's mentioning, yeah, I can go to the next slide. We're really talking about our low income students, our students that would qualify for free and reduced price lunch, or FERPL. We want them, that's who is our main population here. That's who we want to sign up. So we're talking about 7th and 8th graders, as well as 9th graders who might be newly income eligible, like a change in their family income in 9th grade, they can sign up as well. And again, they get auto-enrolled as long as those families can fill out the CNEB application, what used to be the FERPL or the family income survey, now into the CNEB. So that's the main population, is our low income 7th and 8th graders and newly eligible 9th. And that's the same for if you go to public school or if you go to private or homeschooled. If you are income eligible in 7th, 8th, or newly in 9th, you qualify. And if you're private or homeschooled, you contact College Bound directly to certify to be able to get enrolled into College Bound. For our foster care youth, they have different circumstances, so there's a little bit more flexibility for them. If there's a student in foster care, even if just for 24 hours between 7th grade or high school graduation, they can be auto-enrolled into College Bound. So that's kind of who we're talking about when we're talking about fulfilling that unmet need with College Bound. And so, like we talked about, fulfilling that unmet need, it's really looking at covering the cost of tuition, some of those college fees, and then a small amount for books, like a subsidy for some of the book costs. And when we talk about cost of tuition, we're talking about public college rates. And I'll go into that a little bit more a couple slides in. But we want to make sure that, students that are choosing to go to private school, College Bound will not cover all of the private school tuition. It's really looking at meeting that unmet need after other grants at public college rate. And so those awards get based on several things, and I can go into those details. It works alongside Washington College Grant. So a lot of times you'll see Washington College Grant mentioned with College Bound because they come from a very similar fund and they're administered by WASAC. So they work together to help cover college costs. And then I also want to, it doesn't cover all of college costs, but really the goal is let's cover tuition so that students can look at what other aid after grants can I utilize to cover housing or transportation, whether that's scholarships or if they choose to take out loans. But we want to make sure College Bound can cover that tuition so they don't have to worry about how am I going to pay for college classes. They could just have to worry about that overage afterwards. And so this is an example of a notification, a certificate that students might have received in the mail. And this stopped as of January 2025. But I do know that a lot of times when I talk to students about College Bound, they'll go, is that thing I got a certificate for in the mail that one time a long time ago? And I'm like, yes, that's it. So we like to show you all a picture of what students may be talking about when they say that. And this is for students that had filled out that CNEB, get uploaded into the College Bound portal, and then the district or counselors put in their addresses. Every month, those students would get a certificate mailed to them with information on the back about College Bound. So that process stopped January 2025, but they're figuring it out. It's on pause. And once WASAC has either continuing or something different, they will let us know what that's going to look like. And we will also let you know. You'll hear about it probably multiple times. I do want to specify that just one more thing on that. Yeah, there you go. Students do not need to have their certificate to receive College Bound. It's really just a ceremonial thing to kind of get them excited, to get them to notice it. So it's not something they need to keep or anything that they need to get College Bound funding. Perfect. Let's get going. So this student requirement is that this is really like the meat of it, right? We talked about, College Bound is the state's early commitment to say we want to help meet that unmet need. So then it's like, well, what do students have to do for that? So graduate from a Washington high school, complete financial aid application, and fulfill the enrollment deadline. So let's get into the meat and bones of that, right? So we want students to graduate from the Washington high school with a diploma. If they're a foster care youth, they could graduate with a diploma from high school, or they could also do their GED. So again, a bit more flexibility for unique circumstances. And then for those students that graduate high school, they can either, if they are really wanting to go to a four-year college, they do need to graduate with a 2.0 or above GPA. But if they choose to do a trade school, two-year college, a technical program, anything like that, College Bound doesn't have a GPA requirement. What often has a GPA requirement is the college or program they're going to. So while College Bound doesn't have a GPA requirement for community or technical trade schools, things like that, your students would still want to pay attention to if the program they want to go to, looking at like what GPA requirement do they have, okay? And then completing a financial aid application. Students need to complete the FAFSA or WASFA during their senior year. And then they'll do that each year they're in college as well. Completing that financial aid application, that's what's going to check that income and residency requirement to see if they still qualify to receive the College Bound funds. So how they get the money is through that financial aid application. So that's a big piece in senior year to complete that financial aid application. And then the last piece of fulfilling the enrollment deadline. Students need to enroll to college within 1 year of graduating high school. If they earned college credits in high school, like Running Start or college in the high school, things like that, then they have fulfilled that enrollment deadline. If they have earned at least one college credit, that fulfills that enrollment deadline. If they haven't, then they would need to make sure that they are enrolled and attending within 1 year of high school graduation. Perfect. So we like to kind of separate this up into two parts because we work with high school educators and practitioners and middle school educators and practitioners. And you all have kind of different pieces in this college bound process, in this pathway, right? So my middle school practitioners, educators, you're up at step one. You're really working to make sure that all your students and all your families are filling out those CNEBs, getting auto enrolled into College Bound to make sure that any of your low income students or foster care youth in seventh, eighth, or my ninth grade high school counselors. We want them to be filling out those CNEBs, getting enrolled into College Bound so they don't miss out. So really it's that seventh, eighth, and newly ninth grade eligible, income eligible. That CNEB application is going to get them enrolled into College Bound. We do know that some families are, they can be resistant to say, I don't want to fill out this application for the district. That's okay too. They can also directly certify with College Bound themselves. And again, we'll have those resources of how to contact College Bound near the end of the presentation. So there is more than just one option if a family is resistant to the CNEB. You have another step of like, okay, instead, let's do this directly because I really want your student in College Bound, right? And then the second step is really focused on our high school practitioners, especially senior year, right? My senior year educators, practitioners, that's when your students need to fill out that financial aid application along with all the other pieces they're doing, right? Of applying to colleges and then enrolling in colleges, all that. We want to make sure they fill out that financial aid application so that they can actually receive their college bound funds. So we break it down into that two steps just to kind of sort out and help you understand where in the process you fall. Okay. We're going to take a break here to do what? Poll time. It's poll time. Everybody get ready for poll time. Yes, that is our tried and true traditional, you heard it here, poll time song. I know it's going to be short though. It's three questions. You're welcome. I want to do a little knowledge check here. I want to make sure that I explained everything I need to explain. So if you don't know the answer, that's okay. We're going to go over it together. Do your best. Once we get around 80% response rates, we can go over these questions and talk more about it and get into the details here. If you don't know, you can do your best. We'll go over it. Help make sure that we all know what the answers are. We're not grading you, it's okay. Okay, perfect. So we are at 80%. We're going to close it up and go on to the review. Perfect. So let's talk about the questions. The first question, high school sophomores can be auto-enrolled in College Bound. And let's see, if I close this, can I see I don't see the like the response rates or the results. I don't see the results, Trang, our trusty poll administrator, Trang Tran.
Yes, I can share. So it looks like we have 86% answered the correct answer, which is false.
Perfect. Great. Yeah. So high school sophomores, we tend to think about them as 10th graders. And so we cannot auto enroll them into College Bound. We're really, again, targeting our middle schoolers in 7th and 8th grade. And then we do have a handful of 9th graders that get auto enrolled when something changes in their family situation and they are newly income eligible in 9th grade. They can also be auto enrolled in 9th. But unfortunately, anything above that, and even if they were income eligible in 7th and 8th and didn't get enrolled, they cannot be enrolled later on. So it's really our middle school practitioners. This is kind of it. 7th and 8th grade, newly income eligible in 9th. Question 2, students need a 3.0 or better to receive college bound funds. What do we get for that one, Trang?
96% answered false, which is the correct.
Wonderful. Yeah. So if a student wants to go to a community college, trade school, technical program, there is no GPA requirement to receive college bound funds. Like I said, the college itself or the program could have a GPA requirement, so that's important to understand. And then if a student wants to go to a four-year college, the GPA requirement for college bound is 2.0, 2.0, okay? And then our question 3, foster care youth who earn a GED qualify for college bound. How do we do on that one, Trey?
96% said true.
Great. Yeah. So like I said, our college bound youth, they have dealt with a lot. So they get a little bit more leeway in what they do. And they can graduate with either a high school diploma or GED and be able to still qualify for college bound. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, awarding. So we talked about what college bound is, who's eligible, all that stuff. How do they get that funds? Let's talk about it. Where's the money? Okay. So where can college bound be used? This is one of the things that I love about college bound. It's one of the things that a reason why I do this work is because college bound can be used on so many different types of colleges. And I think, when I was younger, college meant you had to go to a four-year college and sit and be lectured at for 3 hours. And man, that really wasn't my jam. And I did it anyways and like shoved myself into a box I didn't fit in and I wasn't like super great at it, right? But the thing about college bound is that they can use this funding for so many different programs. If we have a student that wants to earn money right away and be really hands-on, they can do pre-apprenticeship programs and then get into an apprenticeship. They can do technical programs. They can do beauty school and trade schools. If we have a student that really wants to sit in that lecture and they're about that lecture life, they can do that too. So there's really so many different options. It's not a one size fits all. It really can be tailored to how students think about college. And I think that can be a big like mental barrier. We hear students go, I don't, no, college isn't for me. Well, college looks a lot different than it used to. And so anything can be for you. And let's talk about what sort of things would be for you and what programs exist like that with College Bound. So that's one of the things I love about College Bound. We have that link down there at the bottom, and on the WASDC website, you can see the full list of institutions, over 65 in Washington State. Okay, so we have this fancy schmancy little graph over here on the right-hand side. This is, I know it's like numbers, and so I just want to caveat right away to say this is the maximum, so the most of both combined Washington College Grant and College Bound Award. So both of them together combined the most possible for the 24-25 award year. I will say when I work with students and families, I don't ever give any amounts for College Bound because it's really varied. There's so many different variables like you see on this graph. Just the type of college it is varies in the amount, let alone the program they're enrolling into and their own family income situation. And then also the year, it changes year by year. So really think about, we wanted to give this to our educators, our practitioners, so you kind of have a ballpark understanding of what you're looking at or what students are looking at with the combined College Bound and Washington College Grant. But it's definitely something. College Bound comes after other grants. So like I said, it's meant to fulfill that unmet need. So we have the Pell Grant first, if a student qualifies for the Pell Grant, and then the Washington College Grant. And then if there is tuition owing still, that's when College Bound kicks in. So you could have a student that has their financial aid award letter and they don't even see and they're a College Bound student and they don't see College Bound on their letter because the Washington College Grant and Pell Grant covered it already. So it really depends on where they're going and their own particular situation and what year it is. And then the really cool thing this year is that College Bound has up to 6 years of funding now. So students, not just the 4, not just the 5, but 6 years of funding. And they can use that for anything up to, including a bachelor's degree, nothing beyond that, of course. But that means that a student could, and that doesn't expire, which is the really cool thing, right? So students could go to do an AA degree go and work in the field and decide later, I want to do a bachelor's degree, if they still qualify with income, with all the other requirements around College Bound and fill out that financial aid application, anytime they fill out that financial aid application and they still have years of College Bound funding left, it's going to check to see if they qualify and if they can use that College Bound funding. So really cool to have that extended time and the fact that they can use it, that there is no time limit to it. So super excited about that for our students. Okay, so we often hear things out in the field when we're like out and about. We hear things and we're like, no, 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 no. So we want to do some myth busting. In case you couldn't tell, College Bound is not a full ride. And we do hear that a lot, that College Bound, we hear it more than we should, I'll say. Maybe not a lot, but we hear it more than we should for the number of times we say that College Bound is not a full ride. But like I mentioned, the award amounts, they really vary based on the family situation, based on the type of college they're going to, the cost of the program, and the year that it is. So saying it's a full ride, I think can be tricky for, to when you're talking to your students, because they think, oh, I'm covered. I don't need to do anything else. I don't need to look at scholarships or think about, housing or things like that. And we want them to be prepared. So we wanted to make sure not to use language like full ride when we're talking about College Bound. And then there is times where a student can be enrolled in College Bound and still not receive College Bound funds. And that's that situation I talked about in the last slide, where the Pell Grant gets awarded first, and then the Washington College Grant. And then if there's still tuition owing, that's when College Bound is going to kick in. So they could be in College Bound and not see it on their award letter. The other situation that we have also is that College Bounds, they can be enrolled in College Bound, and they're going to get their income checked every time they fill out that financial aid application. So it could be that they signed up in 7th and 8th grade and they met the income requirements, and when they go to graduate high school, maybe something changed in their family situation where their family is no longer income eligible. So they may not get funding that first year, but they're still enrolled in College Bound, and every year they fill out that financial aid application, it's going to check and see, do they meet the income requirements? Can we give it to them? Can they receive it this year? So they never get kicked out of College Bound or don't make College Bound or anything like that. They're always enrolled in College Bound once they're enrolled. It's just that every year that financial aid application is going to be used to check and see, did they meet all the enrollment, the student requirements, right? The enrollment requirement, the income requirement, the residency requirement, rather. And I will say, the way I talk about this with students is that College Bound isn't asking them to do anything that they aren't already doing, right? They're already trying to graduate from high school, right? They're already trying to go through life without felony convictions. I mean, aren't we all, right? Goals. And they're already trying to, wanting to get around 2.0 and trying to keep that GPA up, right? They want to graduate with a halfway decent GPA, right? So we're not really asking them to do anything that they're not already doing. And then during their senior year, and when they enroll in college and fill out that financial aid application, that's when it's going to check like whether or not they're still income eligible. And it'll keep checking every single year. So maybe the first couple years they weren't, and then something changed in their family situation, and then they are. That 6 years of funding is still going to be there and still going to kick in. And say they go back way later and they're on their own now and their income is a lot less, then that's still going to be there for them. So there's nothing that College Bound is asking them to do that they wouldn't already be doing. So there's nothing to lose by going for College Bound. And then, like I talked about, College Bound can be used at so many different institutions. What we mean when we say college nowadays is so different than back in the day. So that's always something to think about when you're talking with students, is that college doesn't just mean 4 year. Let's talk about what you're interested in, what you're passionate about, what learning looks like to you, and see if we can find a program that might work for you. Okay, we're gonna do one last poll time. It's poll time. Everybody get ready for poll time. Yes, last 3 questions, my friends. This is the last poll. Only 2 polls. You're welcome, right? You're welcome. That's like, I'd take that. Do your best. Or again, we'll go through the answers. There's no grading here. This is not college. We're not there yet. Do your best. We're gonna go through the answers, no pressure, and we'll hang out until we get around 80% response rate. And we like to know you're out there doing your thing, answering our polls, right? Okay, let's see, let's see. I'm gonna stay hydrated. Okay, did we close the poll yet? Oh, perfect.
I'll close it now.
Amber and Trang just like mind melding to sync up. Look at that. Okay, so let's go over the question. College bound funds can be used in California. How do we do on this one, Trang?
90% said false.
Wonderful. We are in Washington State, so we tend not to talk about California too much. So yes, College Bound is a Washington State program because we love Washington State and all they do to try and get us into college. I love that. So it is a Washington State program for Washington State schools. Question 2, students can take a 2-year break between high school graduation and enrolling in college. I'm not even gonna ask for this one from Trang because it is false, but there was also like a caveat that if you were like listening really intently, it would be like, I don't know, it could be either one. It could be either one, but it's false because most students, they do need to enroll. They have that enrollment deadline or enrollment requirement, right? Of getting into college, enrolling in college, earning college credit within 1 year of graduating high school. However, our students that took college credit in high school, like we talked about, whether it's Running Start or CTE or college in the high school, if they've earned at least 1 college credit during high school, that automatically fulfills that enrollment requirement. And then they could take theoretically a 2-year break. We do know that students tend to do better when they can enroll in college no more than a year after graduating high school. But that's again for our Running Start and our students that earn college credit, they've already been engaging in college classes. So that's kind of why that enrollment, that there's that little caveat there, right? Because they've kind of already been doing their college work already. Question 3, is it possible for a student to be eligible for College Bound and not see it on their award letter? How do we do on that one, Trang?
96% said true.
Perfect. Yeah, so true. Yeah, so like I said, you're going to see it combines with Washington College Grant, but also you're going to see that they apply the Pell Grant first if a student is eligible, and then the Washington College Grant. And then if there's tuition left over, then College Bound kicks in. So a student may not see College Bound listed on there. I will say that I will tell students, I want you to understand your award letter. So if they look on there and they can't tell from the information on in the award letter, whether or not the tuition was fully covered by Pell Grant and Washington College Grant, I say, reach out to your financial aid office, make sure they have you listed as college bound, make sure your tuition was covered by your grants and that there's nothing else you're paying on the tuition. So definitely wanting students to understand and make sense of their award letter and know that they can be college bound and not see it on their award letter, definitely. Okay, with that, I'm gonna stop talking and turn it over to my lovely, lovely colleague, Amber.
So in this section, we want to dig a little bit deeper into the topics of auto enrollment, the College Bound portal, and FERPA. I know, exciting stuff, but bear with me. So College Bound transitioned from physical sign-up, some of you might remember, to auto enrollment in the early days of COVID. However, even though it's been at least 5 years that we're in auto enrollment, we still receive so many questions on how this process actually works. So I'm going to break down this illustration and hopefully it will help you understand it a little bit more. So, students need to be eligible for free reduced price lunch in order to qualify. Although many schools nowadays are 100% free and reduced price lunch, which we love, unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily mean that all students are actually income eligible for free and reduced price lunch. And that is the main qualifier of College Bound. So, students used to qualify by submitting either a free and reduced price lunch application or a family income form. Those forms have now been consolidated into one survey called CNEB. This allows schools to determine their income. But apart from that, other information about income is aggregated from different sources from SNAP, TANF, DSHS, migrant coordinators, so many different sources so that students who are eligible don't fall through the cracks. This information is sent to OSPI, and WASAC has, or the Washington State Achievement Council has a data sharing agreement with them to obtain that income information. So, starting in November each school year, all newly eligible students are added to the College Bound portal for school staff to view. Afterwards, the College Bound portal is then refreshed monthly as either new students are qualified or students enter and exit the school district, or many other scenarios. You might have a greatly changing list each month, and there could be many reasons for that. We also ask that counselors will update contact information at the high school and middle school level in order for WASAC to be able to contact families and notify them of their eligibility. However, we do have some exciting news to share with you if you haven't heard already, is that a new legislative change will no longer put this burden on the high school staff. The WASAC is currently advocating for this change to also reach middle school staff as well. So hang tight and hopefully we'll be able to give you some good news another year. But starting in March of this year, the bulk upload for student level data should no longer be an issue for high school practitioners. And I also invite you to check out our legislative updates webinar because we'll go into that more in depth. So let's talk about the College Bound portal. This is going to be one of your key tools as a counselor. This is where you're going to be able to see what students are eligible. And let me tell you, there can be multiple portal users per school, but each person needs to have their own login credentials. If you currently don't have access, please take a look at the information on the slide, take a screenshot, or we will send it out later. But that is how you will get access to your school level data. Staff able to import new students to the portal, but they'll be able to update contact information. But again, this will change at the high school level in a couple of months. If a student who you believe is college bound eligible does not appear on your student list, please encourage them to submit the CNET form, which will analyze their family income data in order for it to be sent to OSVI to then filter to WASAC for them to be auto enrolled. And please make sure that you advise your students to do that before the cutoff of newly eligible ninth grades. Another thing that we want to say is that if you see a student that has a bad address, that means that either the information listed is missing or incorrect. If creating a roster of only college-bound students is cumbersome for you, feel free to upload all of your students. The students that are not college-bound enrolled are not going to be added to your list, so it's not going to add anybody that should be there. And all that information is going to be encrypted and hidden on the WASAC side, and all of that information will be protected and not viewable by anybody. And if you have more questions about that, please reach out to the College Bound regional officers or the WASAC team, and we can help you further. So let's talk about FERPA. So, the legal language basically says that it's permissible for school officials to share directory information, level information to us, the College Bound Regional Officer. So they define directory information as information on a student's education record that would not be considered harmful or an invasion of privacy if disclosed. And then normally the information being asked about college-bound students' contact applications is considered directory information. So please, if you have questions on any students that you want us to help you with, please feel free to send us those questions, but please do not send us social security numbers or anything like that. Send us the name and maybe date of birth. And if we're not able to help you outside of that, because unfortunately, we only have the same access that counselors have on your side. So we see what you see. If we need to troubleshoot some things more, I'm more than happy to be a liaison between you and the WASAC team to help you dig deeper, or get you in touch with the proper person. Okay, everybody, so take a deep, big breath. I know that this has been a lot of information, but we're in the home stretch. So let's talk about some resources. So, College Success Foundation is so proud to offer a variety of resources for both students and practitioners. If you visit our financial aid hub, you'll find recorded trainings on a variety of topics from financial aid applications, reading award letters, and special circumstances. Another thing that the College Bound regional officers and the WASAC team are quite proud of is the work that we put into the Create Your Future Toolkit. This is exclusively for college bound students. We have worksheets for students and educator notes to help you guide the activities with your students. We'll also delve deeper on this topic in the College Bound 201 webinar. So please do me a favor and check that out if you're interested. Also, who doesn't love free stuff? Washington State Achievement Council is so generous because they will send you free college bound pencils, stickers, posters for your school, college knowledge booklets, so many different things that you don't have to print yourself that are useful for your students. So please check out their order form. They recently streamlined it this year and it's so easy to navigate. And I also want to plug the frequently asked questions on the College Bound page on the WASAC website. It is comprehensive, so it does look a little bit intimidating when you view it, but I strongly, strongly encourage you to check that out first before you ask any of your questions because you never know, it might be on there. And if that answer creates other questions, that's amazing. Feel free to reach out to us, but please use that as a resource because it is very comprehensive. And our amazing partners over at WASAC have so many YouTube tutorials about how to navigate the College Bound portal. And they also, thanks to them, we have the very useful FAFSA completion portal, especially for our high school counselors. So I know you've heard a lot of organizations and terms during this meeting, and you might be wondering, how do you guys all fit together? Aren't you the same thing? So, the College Bound Regional Officers, or CBROs, are employed by the College Success Foundation. We're a nonprofit and we help underserved and low income students. In order to meet this goal, we have students at different grade levels that we help in different departments, one of them being WACAN, or the Washington College Access Network. We're contracted with OSPI to increase college bound awareness in Washington State. And thankfully, we have a great partner with the Washington State Achievement Council, or WASAC, that helps us meet our goals. WASAC is a state agency that it supports college access and they even administer the college bound program. So they are the true experts and we would be lost without their knowledge. So how can we help you? Our aims are to increase college bound awareness and increase financial aid completion. Reach out to us if you want us to speak to a group of students about college bound or general financial aid. We also may be able to help out as an extra expert at a financial aid night or at student and family events. If you would like to plan a training with your staff, we would also be happy to schedule something. If you have any questions or need support, please reach out to us. We are here to help. And WASAC, the Washington State Achievement Council, they have a wealth of information on their website. As I mentioned earlier, you can order free promo materials from College Bound and the 12th Year Campaign. I also do want to mention if you have multiple people in your building that are dedicated to this work, please check with each other before you order. That way, nobody places duplicate orders of about 1,000 different. 1,000 different booklets, and then you get 2,000 and you don't know what to do with them. Also, another great thing about them is that they have a lot of useful student information flyers in a lot of different languages. Unfortunately, it's not available for all of their flyers, but for the most common ones, they are. Some are just English and Spanish, but others have up to 13 different languages. So if you have a certain population in your high school, that might be very beneficial for you to look at. There's also so many different student-facing presentations about College Bound. So if you want to lead a training yourself with your College Bound students, they make it so easy. They've done the work for you. They've created the presentation. It's available in both English and Spanish. So all you have to do is download it and present it to your students. So they've done so much of the work for you. I also recommend attending WASAC Wednesdays if you're able to. You'll get important updates on things that affect financial aid or state programs, and also hear about the cool things that they're doing over there. The majority of the time, however, is a Q&A session. I try to attend every month, even if I don't have a question, because I'm always learning from the questions and interesting scenarios that other people have. So I do encourage you to go because you might learn some things that you've never even thought to ask. So I've talked a lot about the wonderful WASAC team. The College Access Initiatives team is mainly responsible for College Bound, and you'll be conversing with them if you reach out to the general College Bound email. I'd like to take a moment for everybody to introduce themselves. That way you can kind of put a voice or face to the name if you do reach out to them individually. So Pablo, if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself.
Thanks, Amber. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Pablo Rodriguez, Program Associate with our College Access Initiatives team here at the Washington Student Achievement Council. That's quite the mouthful. And I'm based in the Tri-Cities, Richland area.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sean Moran. I am the data analyst for the CAI team, and I am stationed in Olympia.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry my camera isn't working. My name is Kathy Pham. So happy to be here, and I'm a program associate for College Bound Outreach. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rochelle Wise, and I am the program specialist for the College Bound program with the CAI team, and I am based in Olympia.
Thank you all. Really appreciate you joining us today. And now I would love to introduce my wonderful CBRO team. Bree is unfortunately a little bit under the weather today, so I'll let you know that she serves Northwest and Peninsula, and I will go ahead and pass it to Melissa.
Hi, all. I'm Melissa Pico. I serve the King County region. I'm based in Seattle.
Hello, everybody. My name is Raul Sanchez. I serve the North Central and Northeastern region of Washington State, and I am based in Spokane.
What's up, everybody? My name is Kennedy. I am based in Tacoma. I serve South Puget Sound and Southwest Washington. Shout out to everybody from my region who was able to make it here today. Hello. That's roughly like Tacoma down to Vancouver and a bit out to the coast.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And I serve Southeast and South Central, which also overlaps with ESD 105 and ESD 123. Here's all our contact information. Again, we will send that out. So please feel free to reach out to your CBRO representative, and we would love to work with you. As I mentioned before, this is the first webinar of a series. We have two more. The College Bound program updates, which will cover legislative changes affecting College Bound. We'll also include some scenarios specific to College Bound that might help you navigate certain student circumstances. So if you've ever wondered if a student graduates high school with a 1.0, they go to a community college, and then can they transfer to a four-year degree, to a four-year school if they are able to get their GPA up? Well, I'm not going to answer that for you because I want you to come to our training. You will get that answer and more. And then the last installment in our series will be College Bound 201. We're going to build upon the previous two webinars and help you put your knowledge into action. We'll also provide some middle and high school checklists to guide your work. We'll talk about different resources that you can help your students, such as the Create Your Future, and much more. Yay, congratulations, everybody. We have made it. So this is our post-training survey. We would love it if you would take 5 minutes out of your day to fill this out. Somebody will put the link in the chat. Again, please enter your email so that we can actually enter you into the drawing. None of your personal information is going to be shared with the CBROs, so don't worry, none of us will get mad at you. We really are doing this for you, and we want to make sure that we have hit the mark, that we are bringing you something of interest. So please tell us how you feel and how we can do better, or hopefully we did well. So please give us those praises if you have them. And with that, thank you so much for attending. If there's any last minute questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and we will go ahead and answer them. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with us.
I do want to say I apologize for not explaining the CNEB right up at the top. Just getting in there with my jargon. Apologize about that. I know we had several questions answered about the CNEB, so I appreciate our Q&A team for that. And I also wanted to say, if you're not sure where it's usually by district, if you're not sure where your district's CNEB application lives, I'm going to put a link in the chat here to everyone. And that is where you can find a list of all the different districts and where your CNEB application is. And that is new this year, so I know it's a little bit of a change, but hopefully also a little streamlined to be able to use just one form instead of Purple and the family income survey. So sorry about that one. My bad, up at the top. You learned new jargon today. Any other questions? You could raise your hand. You could put it in the chat or in the Q&A. And our Q&A team, if you feel like there was any other questions we should talk about out loud, let us know. Amber, we did amazing. We answered every question. That and our amazing Q&A team holding it down.
Looks like there's a question in the Q&A. It's asking how to enroll a foster youth who is not DCYF International Foster Care. Does anybody know the answer to that?
That's a great question. I'm gonna defer to Rochelle, our specialist on this. What do you think, Rochelle?
So that would fall under the category of they would need to reach out to us unless so it depends. If they're in public school, then obviously they would do the CNAB application, like you mentioned, Melissa. So that would be how to get them enrolled, auto-enrolled. If they're not in a public school and they're in a private school or homeschool program, it would be just like any other private school or homeschool student. They would have to contact us to be enrolled. So yeah, it would have to be something like that. Does that help? Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you for your expertise. Appreciate it. Great question too. We are right around the hour mark. Did it get you to your clock hours there, your 1 clock hour? Yeah.
Wait another 3 more minutes, and if there's
We,
no
of course.
questions, I'll end the webinar.
Yes, no worries. We are here if you all have questions. You can also feel free to sign off if you do not. And we will be here for the next 3 minutes to hang out with y'all. And again, we're going to send all this info out and the slide and the presentation out and all that good stuff as well. So you'll get that in your inbox. We hit 60 degrees here today in Seattle. I'm barely in my jacket.
Is spring here?
I'm hoping. I'm so glad to hear, Claire. Thank you so much. Yes, you can definitely use the email above, and we'll also be sending out the post-training email as well. And you can always respond to that also with any questions, and you can reach out directly to your CBRO too. Yeah, all our emails will be in that presentation that we email you. "49 degrees around." Chester's still hanging out in the snow.
All of it is melted, thank goodness.
Oh, that's good. That's great to hear.
Yeah, I've actually got the window slightly open and it's kind of a nice breeze.
Oh, good. Such great questions y'all had in the Q&A. Nice job, Q&A team. Thank you, Michelle.
One final minute to ask questions, and then I will end the webinar.
Sounds good.
Trang, when you end the webinar, do you get a copy of the Q&A section? Okay, because I was wondering, maybe there's some of those that we can pull, maybe for the scenarios. I don't know. What do you think, Melissa and Raul, for the next presentation? I don't think we want to go too heavy into scenarios, but there might be something that like is really good.
I'll send a copy to everybody.
Yeah, we'll definitely look at it.
Okay, it looks like there's no questions, so I'm going to end the Q&A unless there's,
Perfect.
or not Q&A, but to end the webinar.
Yes.
Well, for
Thank you,
attending.
everyone.
Thank you.